Target filled.
Okay, this is moving quick here.
MYM trade alert.
I don't know why am I oh, okay, I was helping a student and shut these off, show him how to do it.
MYM trade alert.
Okay, so I took this modified entry, and basically what this was this is what a double bottom modified entry looked like, okay? So I actually placed a limit order here working off of this support. By the way, I'm looking at the micro NQ, okay? And this is Thursday, June 11th, about 9:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is just before the market's opening, okay? So this was moving real quick, and I just had to hit the record button and kind of do my thing while and try and explain it later. So look, we had, you know, really big sell-off in the overnight session, right? So I moved my first target up a little bit because I did the modified entry, and we got our first target at 99.31. So was that even? Yeah, 99.31 even. So that was 32 ticks. I'm going to just go ahead and mark that real quick. Second target's at 3-1. So I'm happy with where that's at. So I'm just going to leave that. Okay, so that closed up. So I'm going to go ahead and move the stop just down here below the significant wick right here. And I want to go ahead and see what this low is. This low was 21.5, and this low was 21.75, so just a tick higher. So nearly a tick for tick double bottom, okay? So you can see that my entry is this line right here, okay? This line right here is my entry, okay? So I placed a limit order right here. As this came down, I got filled, and I placed my stop right below this support line, okay? So this is where my stop was, okay? So when the trade was, I don't want to move this right now because this is looks like it's pulling back, but what do we have locked in? 13 ticks. This is where my stop was, okay? So I think the original risk on the trade was 8 ticks, if I'm correct. Yeah, it was 8 ticks, 99.21, okay? So when I originally placed a trade, this is exactly, I had to move the stop because when it placed the order, the stop was like down here at 26 ticks, okay? As soon as I placed it, I had to move quick and move it up to here, so my risk was small in case this movement, this pullback, just went right through it, okay? And that happens sometimes, okay? But I'm willing to do that because it's a tiny pullback, okay? It's a tiny pullback I'm sorry, it's a tiny amount of risk. You know, if you can get it down to 4 to 6 ticks, ideally, something like that, you know, and take a swing at that, you know, your risk is very small for a full-size trade. Okay. So let's just see if we get some follow through here. We can move this stop back up over here. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to trail the bar close indicator. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like the bar close indicator so much. I don't have to do any math. I can just, nice, nice, look at that movement.
Target filled.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So 32 plus 78 is equal to 110. Nice trade. Nice trade. 110 ticks. The micro NQ is equal to 50 cents a tick. Which is $55. Nice trade. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second though. Okay guys, let's review the logic that was put into this trade. Okay. We had all of this price action below the trend line, right? And then what did we have? What happened here? We had a transition, right? Okay. So once we had this transition, we got above the trend line, okay? So what do you hear me say? I say typically Dave doesn't like to take the first bounce off of the trend line. Okay? Why? Why don't I like to do that? Because when you take the first bounce off of the trend line after a transition, okay, here's a transition. We broke lower. Here's our first touch. Okay. We come back and touch it again. We don't know if we're just going to continue through like what happened over here. So we broke through, touched, put in a double bottom, and took off. But we can fail, can't we?
MYM trade alert.
Okay, this isn't a great example, but this is an example where we're below the trend line, we come up, okay, we bounce off of it, and again, this isn't a clean example, but, and then what happens? We continue higher, and you would have gotten stopped out right here. Okay, that's what I'm trying to explain. All right. So when we came down and we touched it, you wouldn't want to have entered here. Okay. So we had a double bottom, and at this point when this was coming back, we don't know for a fact whether or not, okay, we're working off of this support right here. Okay, we're working off of this support. We don't know
NYM
if
trade
this,
alert.
we don't know if
NYM buy signal 4.
if this support's going to hold, right? Okay, so we did a modified entry. This moved quickly.
NYM trade alert.
Ordinarily, I'm putting my limit
NYM
order
buy signal 4.
right about at the neck of this. Okay, on this particular trade, I just got lucky and it had already moved lower by the time I had placed my limit order. That's why the entry was this low.
MNQ
Okay.
trade alert.
Normally, as soon as this bar closes
NYM
up,
trade alert.
I'm going to go ahead and place my limit order at right around
MNQ
this,
trade alert. NYM buy signal 3. Buy signal 3.
this limit, this level.
NYM trade alert. Buy signal 2.
Okay. Charts are going crazy and they're all talking over me, so I just paused the video, and I have more than one chart open and realized why my signals are off. So so I just wanted to change my settings.
NYM trade alert. NYM buy signal 2. MNQ trade alert. MNQ
So this is the
sell signal 1.
So this is the yellow entry that I had gotten, and I have more than one chart open on different monitors. So I had seen this signal on a different monitor. So so the reason I went ahead and I moved this target is because I knew that I had this resistance line right here. Okay. And I felt that I had available profit to me. So I went ahead and I expanded that out from 26 up to 32. I felt that we wouldn't get any pressure, any resistance until we got up there. And our second target was set at 3-to-1. Okay, so a 1-to-1 and a 3-to-1 is averaging something right around 2-to-1. Okay, I know that I have some different ATM strategies, and I have a ATM strategy. Some people sent me some emails asking me why am I doing a 1-to-1 and a 2-to-1. That was specifically for an individual student who had asked me to make some videos showing that ATM strategy because that's what he wanted to use. Okay, and he wanted to see me trade with it. He wanted to see how I would trail it. And every trade is different, right? Depending if you get some sort of significant wick, if you get some sort of significant pullback, every trail is going to be a little bit different, correct? If we get a significant pullback, like on this trade here, look what happened here. Okay, we broke this high, and I just feel I'm kind of lucky to have gotten a 3-to-1 on this trade because this trade did not follow through. Okay, if this was just a straight continuation, and I had nowhere to trail from. Okay, and this had pulled back, and this was my first pivot. Okay, I would have moved my stop from behind this wick to this pivot point right here. So I would have had, and if I hadn't gotten my second target yet, so we would have had our first target, which would have been 32 ticks. And let's say my second target was a 4-to-1 or something. Okay, let's just say, maybe there was a pivot point, sitting up here, and we were going for a 4-to-1, or just had it up there for the pivot. And I trailed back here. Well, I would have gotten 32 plus, 13 or something. Okay, so every trade is a little bit different, and that's what I tried to explain to him. Is I'm happy to show it to you, but it takes a little bit of just practice and doing, and a little bit of a gut feeling of how you're going to trail those trades. Okay, there is no exact set in stone method for every trade of exactly how it's going to work out, and that's why I like using the bar close indicator when you're kind of out in the middle of no man's land. You'll see me use the bar close indicator, because it gives me some sort of reference where you can keep your trade profitable. Why give up the profit once you're profitable? Okay. Yeah, maybe it's not a home run, but if you're hitting singles and doubles every day, you don't need to hit a home run. Okay. It's better to hit a single or a double every day than taking stop outs. Okay. So you have to keep your greed in check. So again, my system's not for everybody. I like it. A lot of my students like it. It's very neat. It's simple. It's clean. It takes a lot of the decision making off the chart, puts it in the background so you can focus on price action. And when the decision making is time, it prints nice clean arrows for you. It captures your attention in case you have multiple charts up like I do. It gives you a heads up, literally, so you lift your head up and look at that other chart. If you're trading multiple screens, which most of us are, it's hard to trade just one chart and wait for that one setup on one chart. So if you have multiple screens, instead of missing that setup, it will announce for you, and you can just simply look over at that other chart and see if that setup is something you're looking for. Okay, but this is a beautiful setup, guys. Okay, this is a beautiful setup. This is a beautiful Renko Kings double bottom. This was a low risk entry. Okay, we did a modified entry. This is called a modified entry. It was low risk on this trade. It was only 8 ticks, and we took our first target off at 32 and our second off at 78, so we got a total of 110 ticks. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and send me an email. I'm always happy to help. Have a great day.